Hello. Okay, so done a couple of lessons on basic economic problem, opportunity cost, uh, how do we do economics, how do we think about modeling things, how do we test things. Now let's talk about a model. Let's actually do a model. Okay, so I'm going to get a screen up and we're going to put this opportunity cost thinking to work. So suppose I am a very simple economy because I'm a simple man. I farm my land and I either farm sheep or carrots. And if I have an acre of land that I use to graze a sheep in the summer, or I could have that field full of however many carrots an acre of land would produce. Let's say 1,000 carrots. So I've got 1,000 carrots and I've got one sheep. And the point is, what's the trade-off? So in this case, the trade-off is a linear line, because every carrot that I drop from fully utilizing carrots on my field, the bigger of the fraction of the sheep that I'll be able to feed. So in this case, I've got the fraction of the summer that I could feed a sheep, let's say. And this is my production possibility. This is, I can't go past that. I can't use the 1 acre of land for both carrots and sheep. Or I can, but I can't use it for both 1,000 carrots and 1 sheep at the same time. Because what am I going to do? Grow grass on top of the carrots? Right, that's going to be difficult. So I've got a production possibility frontier because it's a limit. I can't break past that. I can have some combination along this line of giving up carrots for sheep. If I was lazy, I could even produce in here and not properly use the land. And I could produce inside that area of the graph, kind of behind the possibility frontier of my production. But past here, I can't go. I'm limited, right? Because this is it. So this is a great way, we call this PPF, production possibility frontier. And it's a great way of thinking about opportunity cost. Because if I'm here, well, what's the next thing I could do? The next thing I could do is here. Next thing I could do is here. So the gradient of the line represents the opportunity cost, because that's how many carrots do I have to give up every time I feed my sheep for a bit longer during the summer. That's an opportunity cost in terms of my economy. I can also think, am I being productively efficient? So if I'm being productively efficient, I'm on this frontier. I'm at the edge of this curve, the edge of what I can do. And if I'm down here, I'm productively inefficient. So this can also be a way of thinking about productive efficiency. Now, I know it's not that exciting yet, but we can use this for slightly more exciting things down the line. So just to give you a bit of a sneak peek now, because, I want something interesting. How do I expand this? Because how I expand this is how I create economic growth, right? I don't create economic growth staying along those lines, because that line is just trade-off. That line is, okay, I can make fewer carrots and feed my sheep for longer. Or whatever I'm producing, if it's gummy bears or chocolate, be whatever. It's still the same trade-off. It's not helping me have more in general. So I want to be able to find something that expands this production possibility frontier. So in the example I've given you, it's land. I would want more land. That would allow me to produce more carrots and sheep. Or it could be efficiency. Let's say I make a new carrot that grows better in the ground, grows faster. Well, then I can produce more. That's great. Or I make my my sheep a lot more efficient at taking up grass and have less methane emission. That would also be cool. Another thing is if I work more. So typically we can expand this by expanding these inputs into production, which leads me on to the next thing very nicely. So we worked out if I want to expand production, I'm going to be needing to do something like I'm going to be needing to work more, or perhaps I'm going to be needing more land, or perhaps I'm going to be needing a better way of doing things, a more efficient way of organizing my time, or my sheep, or my carrots, or maybe a new technology, a new way of plowing up my carrots or digging up my carrots, or a new type of carrot. So some sort of, we could call this broadly speaking enterprise, right? This is going to be my ideas, my innovations, my way of organizing production. And the other thing that would be very handy if, let's say, I have stuff that helps my work. So if I'm doing everything by hand, that's going to be quite annoying. So I'm going to make fences to organize the sheep, and I'm going to get a spade to help me dig up my carrots. So what is this stuff? It's stuff that makes my work easier and means that I can produce more with a given amount of work. That's capital. So sometimes people think, oh, capital refers to kind of money, or sometimes people think capital refers to things like factories. Capital can refer to things like factories, and it can refer to money because companies will use money to buy capital. But the reason something like a factory is capital is because it's something that makes your work more efficient. You don't need to do it by hand. You can get the factory machines to help you do it. A laptop is capital in the modern day and age because we use it to work with each other more efficiently. Pen and paper could be capital if that's what you're doing, if you're doing anything related to writing and communication. So capital is very broadly everything that makes you more efficient, and that can include getting a shovel to help you dig up your carrots, getting a better shovel. So capital. And here we have the 4 factors of production. So typically, if you want to create economic growth in this sense, in the sense of, hey, I'm going to expand my production possibility frontier, you want to increase production, you can think of that as growth, having more to go round, then you want to look at expanding these inputs. So that's introduction, production possibility frontier, productive efficiency. Are you producing on the frontier? Or is there something you're missing out on? And finally, inputs for production, factors of production, work, land, enterprise, capital. And because we're pompous, we typically refer to work as labor. There you have it.